Man, I'm trying to decide if I should buy a new iPhone and it's all so confusing. Reviewers keep talking about chips and nits which I don't really get. And all the Apple ads call whatever iPhone they're talking about the best iPhone yet. What should I do? I totally get it. But what if I can cut through the clutter and tell you which one to buy? I'll even answer any follow-up questions in the comments below. If you can do that for me, I'll definitely give you a like and be a subscriber. Deal. Let's first lay out your options. Apple's current lineup of top-end phones includes the iPhone 14, the iPhone 14 Pro, the 15 and the 15 Pro. And that's 4 models. Yeah, but each of them come in 2 screen sizes. Yes, the smaller 6.1 inch and the larger 6.7 inch called the Plus or the Pro Max, which makes a total of 8 phones to choose from. Plus, Pro Max. Apple might be good at a lot of things, but naming phones isn't one of them. And the fact that it's ultra thin and long lasting, it sounds like... Yes, we all get it. But focus. Of these 8, only 6 are sold by Apple on their website. So they've stopped listing the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max on their website, but you can easily buy them on Amazon, brand new, with the same Apple warranty. So it's very much still an option. Got it. So I have 4 phones as options with 2 screen sizes. That makes 8 options in total. Is there any difference apart from the screen size between the larger and the smaller ones? Well, apart from the screen size, the other difference is typically the battery life, which is much better for the larger screen phones. But of course, the price is also higher. Here's a table with all of the prices starting at the cheapest. You can spend as less as $699 a pound or 70,000 rupees and then go up to $1,200 a pound or 1,60,000 rupees. Wow, thanks. I'm going to take a screenshot of that, but this is still quite a lot of options to take in. It is, but I promise to cut the clutter, and let me start here. In most years when Apple launches new iPhones, the previous year's iPhones are actually still great deals, and I actually typically recommend them as value for money. I agree, most years the previous year's iPhone is insane value for money. Yes, but this year I wouldn't do that simply because Apple has moved to USB-C ports with the 15 series, and the USB-C is already on the latest iPads and AirPods as well. So the old iPhone 14 series with Lightning ports will suddenly be outdated technology, which will have very, very poor resale value when you sell or trade in your iPhone next time. So even though the iPhone 14 Pro is a great phone with actually the same camera and the same processor as the iPhone 15, I wouldn't spend your money on it since it doesn't have the new USB-C. Got it. Okay, so this just became a lot simpler. Don't even consider the 14 or the 14 Pro. Hence, I guess my options are down from 8 phones to 4 phones. The iPhone 15 and 15 Pro in either the small or the large size. Right, so we're down to 4 phones now, and there are 3 core decision-making factors that matter to the everyday user like you and me when you buy a new iPhone, and the rest are either nice-to-have features that sound exciting but don't really end up being that useful, and some which are just pure marketing tricks by Apple. Why is it always 3 things with you? Why not 2 or 4? I don't know, man. 3 is a magic number. So first, it's the camera, which is something that everyone uses and cares about and can be hugely different across phones. Second, the design in terms of look and feel and screen size that changes the whole experience of using it. And third is the battery that makes a massive difference, especially based on your lifestyle. Even though Apple rates them all as all-day battery, trust me, some of them will even run out before the end of the day. But what about the price? Sounds like the larger phones are much more expensive. I knew you might say that. Yes, the price and your budget are important, but don't just look at what costs more when you buy it. There's a secret trick in evaluating prices, especially on the larger phones that most people miss and end up making the wrong decision. Oh, really? What is it? Hold on. Let's cover the 3 factors in detail first because you need to understand them for the secret price trick to make sense, and that will come later in the video if you watch till the end. Okay, I'll wait, but this better be worth it. I promise it will be. So first, the camera, which is very simple. While Apple would like you to believe that the 15 Pro camera is much better, and in terms of specifications, it actually is with a telephoto lens and larger sensor, but in real world usage in terms of pictures that it takes or video that it shoots, they're actually not that different except for some pro features like a lot of zoom and the ability to shoot in pro photography formats like RAW. Oh, so such different specs and no difference at all? Now when you take normal shots, no. But of course, the zoom is where things start to get different. The 15 Pro has 3x optical zoom with the Pro Max pushing this to 5x optical zoom using the telephoto lens, which means that the lens physically moves to zoom without any quality loss. But given the
insane 48 megapixel quality camera. In even the cheaper iPhone 15, it can still zoom up to 2x with no loss in quality without even a telephoto lens, just by cropping the original photo.
That's good, but isn't the 3x or the 5x zoom better?
Not at all. In practical use, especially in the daytime, the zoom looks quite similar, and 2x optical zoom is actually quite decent and enough for most users. I know that we always feel like we want to be able to zoom a lot more, but in reality, you can just go closer to the subject in most situations, and only in long distance nature photography can this sometimes become an issue.
Yeah, you're right. It's not often that I'm trying to take a picture of something across the river or mountain or something.
Exactly. Let's move to other use cases of the camera. Even in portrait mode shots and in video mode, once again, in real world testing across reviewers on the internet, it's been pretty hard to tell the difference for the everyday user. So only if you're a serious photographer who zooms in like 10 or 15x with their phone, or needs to shoot in raw formats, or is really looking for that difference, will you actually feel one.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So on the camera, we're saying just go with the 15, no need to pay the 200 more for the 15 Pro?
On the basis of just the camera, for the everyday user, yes. But here's where we need to consider the next factor, which is the design, including the look and the feel and the screen.
So does that edge things more towards the 15 Pro?
A little bit. So the design in general of the 15 series is quite nice this year, with more rounded edges and a frosted matte glass back, and the rounded design does feel more comfortable to hold, especially for the larger phone.
Thank God, the old 14 Pro Max and Plus phones felt like the edges were cutting into your hands a little bit, especially with the weight.
Well, yeah, but I personally kind of like them though. The sharp lines added something very chic to the look, like expensive jewelry. The new design is more practical and warm and inviting, but it's lost its edge a little bit.
That joke. Really?
Okay, this is where the differences between the 15 and the 15 Pro come up. The materials used are completely different. The 15 is made out of aluminum, which looks nice but isn't as durable. The 15 Pro has a material that they've never used before on a phone, titanium. And that's not only durable but also light, and it has this beautiful, soft, brushed look to it.
Isn't that the same on the Apple Watch Ultra?
Exactly, it's the same. And I love my Apple Watch Ultra, which you can hear about in my full review using the link. But despite actually trying, I've never managed to even scratch my Apple Watch Ultra, and the new iPhone 15 Pro will be no less.
So basically, if I drop my phone or tend to scratch it a lot, this is the reason to pay a couple of hundred more and get the 15 Pro versus the 15 and not really the camera?
Yeah, I agree with all those reasons. But you should also pay more for the Pro series because of how it looks.
What? It's a tech product. We should justify the price with the features, right?
Yes, I know, but since this is a tech product, we love looking at only the features, but man, that 15 Pro looks so much nicer for the thing that you use the most in your life, your phone. Everyone subconsciously chooses a phone because of how it looks anyway.
Man, you're right. Thanks for calling it out. Everyone tends to justify price based on features, but you're right. There's more intangibles like look and feel that deserve some money if we can afford to spend it.
While we're talking about spending more money for reasons that we don't give enough credit to, the other secret that no one realizes is that we only tend to compare the overall price difference between the phones. That is $200 a pound or 55,000 rupees in this case, without thinking about the cost per year of the ownership.
What do you mean?
Well, this needs me to talk about the third decision-making factor, the battery life, which on the Pro Max and Plus is so much better than the small sizes. And this matters in two ways. First, while you can of course feel the difference as soon as you buy it, but given that most people charge their phones at night and both the small and the larger sized iPhones last the whole day, the difference doesn't actually give you any value when you just buy it.
So then why does it matter?
It matters because this becomes a deal breaker after a year or more of use as the total battery capacity starts to degrade, and now the smaller sized phones don't always last till the night, especially on the days that you do an extra bit of video calling or you stream a movie, it just burns out. So suddenly you're 1 or 1.5 years in with a new phone and you're already thinking about upgrading to a new iPhone.
Man, you're right. This is exactly why I'm thinking of buying the new iPhone right now. My old one works just fine, but the battery life has become rubbish and it goes out just when I need it.
Exactly! But with the bigger screen sizes called the Plus or the Pro Max, whose battery lasts well into the second day, and in the beginning they last even into the third day, the phone continues to last the whole day even on heavy use after a year or two. What's more, because it lasts 2 days in the beginning when you first buy them, you actually charge them less, typically only once every 2 days. So given that all batteries have a fixed number of times that you can charge them in their life, charging it half as much means that the battery will last twice as long.
Oh,
So that means that if you keep your small iPhone 15 or 15 Pro for say 2 years before the battery is too annoying and you need to upgrade, the 15 Pro Max or Plus can last well into year 3 or 4. That means that in effect the price per year that you pay is actually half. So if you think the iPhone 15 Plus at $899 is $100 more than the 15 at $799, think again. If you divide the 15 Plus by the 3 years you think it'll last, that's $300 a year, whilst the 15 will need to be replaced in 2 years, making it $400 a year, which is more than the bigger phone. Here's an example. I still have my 12 Pro Max 3 years in and it's still going strong as my primary phone.
wow, I never thought of that. You're not only helping me choose, but you're kind of helping me save money, so I'm going to subscribe and like right now. So basically, you're saying that everyone should buy the larger sizes if you can, because the longer battery life and hence actually the longer life of the phone itself, which makes it cheaper.
Yes, as long as you don't mind the bigger screen, which trust me, you'll get used to super quick, and once you do, you can never go back.
So that puts the 15 Plus and the 15 Pro Max on the top.
By the way, if you do a full spec comparison, there are a few more things that both phones have, like the dynamic island and USB-C and the ability to switch between portrait and regular photos after you take the shot, which is very cool by the way, and the ultra wideband chip for precise location tracking to help you find your friend even in a big crowd.
Isn't the processor on the Pro better than the regular?
Well, on paper, yes, but it's a marketing tactic for the average user.
Wow, Apple claims it has like a 20% faster GPU and stuff.
Yeah, but they feel the same unless you play very heavy duty games or something. There's only one more feature, which is the action button that replaces the mute switch on the Pro model, which can not only mute now, but can also be customized for any action like a timer or a flashlight, which is kind of neat, but it's not a decision maker or a deal breaker, at least in my opinion.
Got it. Okay, so which phone should I buy?
Okay, so let's round up. Look. This year, unlike others, the regular and the Pro versions are actually very similar. Given the logic I explained of the battery life, which extends the phone's life itself and improves the experience in the mid to long term, and hence has a lower cost per year, I would recommend the larger sizes over the smaller ones. And I know there are a lot of people who think it's too big, but trust me, I think you get used to it very quickly, and the larger screen is just a delight to use to read stuff and watch stuff and be productive.
Okay, so that's down to two phones, the 15 Plus at $899 a pound or 80,000 rupees, and the 15 Pro Max at $1199 a pound or 1,60,000 rupees. There's a $300 a pound difference and a massive 70,000 rupee difference between the two.
So this is where I'd say it's a personal choice. The extra price difference seems like quite a lot for not that much of an upgrade. While yes, there's a slightly better camera and an action button and a gaming processor that Apple loves to market, the real difference is looks and durability. The Pro Max is beautiful looking, it's lighter, it's more durable, it's very hard to scratch or break, and has a slightly nicer camera. So if you can spend the extra $300 a pound, you should upgrade. But frankly, if you get the 15 Plus, I don't think you're going to really miss out on anything. By the way, if you're in India, then an extra 70,000 rupees for the Pro Max is ridiculous. You can get two phones for that price, so you shouldn't do it. Even if you do buy it, don't buy it in India. Ask someone to get it for you from the US or Dubai, where it's half the price difference.
iPhone 15 Plus for me it is. This was super useful, but I'm also considering if I should just switch to Android with the S23 Ultra or use the money I saved to get an Apple Watch Ultra. Do you have reviews for those?
I'm glad you asked. Here are the links, and don't forget to subscribe and let me know which review I should do next in the comments below, and see you on the next one.